Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm here today with another video. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about the newest One Piece chapter, One Piece chapter 1050, I think that's the chapter. This chapter was a pretty big one, pretty important, as it essentially signified the end of the Wano arc. I mean, this arc was, what, 10 years in the making now? I think it was 10 years ago today, or I guess 10 years ago yesterday, that Law and Luffy made their alliance in the manga to go and defeat Kaido. So it's been a long time, and it's finally been done. Kaido is, I think, officially defeated, as officially defeated as he could be. He was sent into a volcano, and it exploded. Do I think he's dead? Probably not. I also don't think Big Mom's dead either. But I do think that they're probably defeated. Obviously, the same thing happened with Luffy. It's like the text box came up and saying that Kaido was the victor of their fight, but that wasn't necessarily true. So maybe he's not. Maybe he'll come back. I wouldn't mind it, but I mean, I don't really care either way. But yeah, big time, big time. So many years in the making this battle was, and it did not disappoint. This arc was fantastic. I loved it. The start was a bit slow when it was just like building up. Like, you know, it was doing world building as One Piece is known for, which it's not a problem, but it was kind of slow. But once they got into the Odin flashback, it was just, from there on, it was just insane. Like, I genuinely, Act 3 of Wano has been the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Even the anime has been amazing. It's just been so good. I mean, Odin flashback, all the information about Roger, Whitebeard, Kaido when he was kind of younger, Laugh Tale, everything about it was so good. And then we got into the actual raid, which was just even better. Roof Piece has been so fantastic. I mean, Law and Kid versus Big Mom, the two emperors versus the five supernovas, Zoro versus King, Queen versus Sanji. Both those fights I wasn't that gassed for. They were kind of weird, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, Zoro's was good because we got to see some of his backstory. Sanji's was a bit shit. I mean, his new power up was good, but Queen was kind of just yelling about Germa the whole time. Queen was kind of a shit villain. I think that was one problem with this arc. I know, like, end of the arc, you don't want to hear complaints, but the one thing that does stand out to me is that I don't think the villains were as good in this arc. Orochi was very hateable, but that was about it. And also, obviously, the death fake-outs were a problem, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. But yeah, the villains, they were a bit I will be honest. Even Kaido, I'm not that hyped for. I like Crocodile and Doflamingo much, much more. I've seen people comparing Kaido to Doflamingo. Even some people even saying he's better. That's just absurd. I mean, come on, man. Really? Like, the only thing he is better than Doflamingo in is, like, stature and power and importance, I guess, to the story. Even though, is he that? Yeah, he is that important. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, like, he's been alright. His lack of a backstory really messes with him. I think his entire character is mainly just supposed to be, I am this undefeatable evil. You're supposed to see him and be like, wow, they're not going to be able to overcome this. And that's what he portrayed. He did that well, but it doesn't make him as good as Doflamingo or Crocodile. Like, Crocodile, I think, he does it better in the sense where he's just, like, evil. Like, in Alabastic, Crocodile, he just doesn't give a fuck. He was just evil, straight up. They don't give you a reason as to why he was evil. He was just like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm gonna just take over your country because I fucking feel like it. Doflamingo, on the other hand, he gets a reason, backstory. They're like, oh, he's evil because his family was like assaulted and he was like essentially crucified, and he killed his mom died, and then he killed his own dad, and then he killed his brother. He's had a traumatic past. That's why he's like this. And so he was a very well written villain. Crocodile was just a boss, you know. He was an absolute don. Badass motherfucker. Just didn't give a fuck. He was just straight evil, which is what I really like in villains. Dofi also had that straight evilness, but he had like reason for it, I guess, and like cool writing. So I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Kaido had none of those. He was kind of just there, I think, to be an imposing villain. His backstory wasn't good. I'll be honest. It just really was like, I used to be a young little boy, and then I grew up a bit and became a better pirate, and then I grew up a bit more, and I was an even better pirate, and that's it. That's it right there. So it's like, yeah, okay. That was great. Not that interesting, though. Big Mom is still my favorite Yonko. She's not, but she's up there. She's number 2. I like Shanks and then her. She's definitely been one of the more interesting time skip villains. I mean, I don't know if I've talked about how much I probably have talked. I definitely have talked about how much I like her before. But she is just such an interesting character. Her character is so fun, so unique. Just everything about her is great. She was, I think, the highlight of villainy in this arc, if I'm being honest. Because I mean, like even on the rooftop, Kaido was just kind of getting assaulted because he was just tanking hits. That's what he does. But that doesn't really make for a scary villain. I mean, Big Mom though, she was fucking shit up. The Lightning God Tenjin attack was so sick. Her being like on that, or her chilling on Zeus in that one panel was amazing. Her growing supermassive, squaring up with two supernovas at once who had both awakened their fruits, fantastic, and who are both perfect counters to her, may I add. I mean, Law gets to go through her hard skin, which is arguably one of her most defining traits, and Kid gets to use her size against her with his magnetism, because, usually the bigger a magnet is, the stronger it is. So she was just done completely dirty. She had the mastermind of the plan, whose devil fruit also perfectly counters her in Law. And then she also had to fight Kid as well, who also had an awakened devil fruit that perfectly counters her. And they were both, and it was just unfortunate for her, but she fought well, man. She didn't even die. She just got pushed into the floor. At least I don't think she died. I mean, yeah, she was alive, and she was pretty adamant that she was coming back, and I do think she'll be back in Elbaf. And speaking of that, that is when Luffy will finally be solidified as Yonko level, I think. Right now, you can say, oh, he beat Kaido, so obviously he's Yonko level. Sure, I'm not gonna argue that, but I do think he is pretty much the weakest of all the Yonko level characters. I think the only person you could really say, or I would think he's beating, there's two people, are Green Bull and Fujitora, the newer admirals. I'd say those people, I'm like, okay, I think he could beat them. Kizaru, no, and then everyone onwards, just I don't think so. I think Kizaru is the closest he can get to beating one without actually doing it. But once he recovers from this fight and he's like gets a good hold on Gear 5, then I think he will be truly Yonko level and be able to like actually tussle with them 1-on-1 instead of having to fight them 5-on-2 and then 1-on-1 and then like 2-on-1 and then like another person comes in the fight and then like he comes back to life, he gets healed, and then like just a bunch of random shit happens. Like, that obviously wasn't a true 1-on-1. I mean, Kaido had to fight the 9 scabbards. He had to fight the 5 supernovas. And then he had to fight Luffy 1-on-1. And then he beats Luffy. And then he has to fight Yamato 1-on-1. And then Luffy gets healed by Law's crew. And then he comes back and has to fight him and kind of Momo. Momo really just bites him and then leaves, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, he takes quite the beating from a lot of people who aren't Luffy, so I don't think you can classify it as a real 1-on-1, and that just because Luffy won, he's now Yonko level and stronger than Kaido. But yes, that's all I'm gonna say for today. Chapter was alright. I don't know. The chapter wasn't that great. The moments with all the people having fun at the festival was good. And the guy's daughter, I've somehow forgotten both of their names. The laughing guy's daughter who also laughs. That moment was great. But yeah, that's about it. A decent chapter. The end of Wano has apparently come by, and it's just over now. We will see what happens next. I'm very excited. Will there be some crazy shit? Who knows? Probably. I think we're in the end game now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. It depends on if we go to Elbaf. Because if we're going to Elbaf, then I think it might calm down for a little bit. But then at the same time, I think it might be a while before we go to Elbaf. Because Big Mom's got to get out of the volcano and head there. Because I do hope that Big Mom comes back. I really do. She's so sick. Anyways, that is going to be it for this video. I do indeed hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your thoughts on the chapter in the comments below. Subscribe epically. And I will see y'all in the next one. Deuces.
Grow up, I wanna be an OG. Sipping 4-5s like my granddaddy. Wanna be an alcoholic, no time for family. Can't even see the distance from the people around me. I wanna be the dude that your girl calls pimp. Me, motherfucker, who could bust your lip. I bust a nut and baby mamas, leave them crying, leave them lonely like my papa. I don't wanna be a doctor, I don't wanna be a lawyer, I just wanna be important. Put my face on maps, everybody know me cause the motherfucker raps. Deal with the devil, dealt with the devil, lead with the devil, lie. I'm the devil, I need the devil, you need the devil. Who you think you talking to? You talking to the best they never knew. No crew, never had a clique, no gang. Living by myself, never been no thing. Never need a bitch, never needed a woman. I never needed anybody but a pen and my bullet. I can't deal with the lows that'll come in the future. If I blow up, then it was good to know you. A guy like me can't deal with fame. When you hear this verse, then remember my name.